Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and I'm here today with set number 75015, the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid from LEGO Star Wars. This is a 2013 release with 3 minifigures, ages 7 to 12, 271 pieces, and this originally retailed for $19.99 or $20. However, nowadays you might be able to find it for a lesser price due to Target's clearance. Let's take a closer look at this set now. To start things off, here's a look at the box art for the set, where we can see the main model treading through an area based on Episode 2 of Star Wars, Attack of the Clones. This also includes on the bottom a section that shows you all 3 minifigures. 2 of them are claimed to be new to this set. Now, the battle droid isn't exactly new in design, it's just a new color, because it's based on Geonosian droids. Jango Fett, however, is an exclusive and new figure in this set, because so far he's only been released in this set and in the upcoming, or actually it's already happened, calendar from 2013 with LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. You also see we have Yoda on the top. And to take a look at the back, you can see some of the main play features of the model. We also get to see it from different angles down here, a forward motion, and also just an inaccurate scaling of this minifigure compared to the model. Now, we have a couple different bags that are included with this set. We have bag 1, which includes this large bag, and 3 smaller bags. One of them is kind of a perforated material. I don't know if perforated is exactly the right word, but it is a different texture than some of the other bags. You can check out my building video for more details on what's in each bag. Number 2 is also pretty large, a little bit larger than the first bag, and we have only 1 bag included inside of here. Now let's move on to our instructions and extra pieces. The instructions for this set are pretty large and are well put together, in my opinion, especially when we have the segmented bags that divide it up. The first bag includes all 3 minifigures and the bottom build of the tank droid. And as we flip through here, it's basic instructions. Nothing really special in the background. If I just go back a few pages, I'll be able to show you bag 2. Bag 2 features some of the add-ons and, well, the outside decoration and the track of this set. It also includes part of the inside, which not only keeps it structurally sound, but also helps with the play feature of rolling. The build for it is pretty simple. In some parts, they do show you all the pieces beforehand, so that it makes building it easier. Whereas in most instructions, they just put it on the top of each step. I didn't really find any real difficulty with building this set. Maybe a little bit, but nothing really major. Nothing that can't be fixed easily. So I think it's well put together. Now, this set shows you in the back, you put 60 of these track pieces together. However, according to all the pieces in the set, you get 2 of them that are extra. So just a note, you don't put all of them together. So try to put 2 of them aside when you're building the set, and then put all the rest together. Or what I did in the video, I put it into a couple segments so that I could just attach those on top of each other. I think might have been 6 segments of 10 or 4 segments of 15, something like that, just for easier counting. But now that you are seeing this review, you know that you just take out 2 pieces and build the rest of them. We'll talk more about that later. You can also see in the back of the instructions, it shows you a little bit of the extra pieces, because we have shown here some of the add-ons for the helmets. They show that all as a set, even though only 2 of them are, actually 1 of them is used in here. There is a code on the back, which you're allowed to use. I'm not using it. J15F13. And I presume that J and F are Jango Fett. You also have a checklist on the back that shows you the other sets from 2013. And the win kit on the back. For the extra pieces in this set, these are all the ones that are included after building the entire set. You can check on the building video if you want to see it by bag, which pieces are extra. But basically, we have, as mentioned before, 2 of the track pieces that are extra from this set. And may I mention right away, these track pieces do not attach to Lego pieces. They are very smooth, and they have no capabilities of attaching to Lego pieces. We get one of these red bushings as an extra piece. We get several droid arms that are extra. Some of them that are used for the battle droid in the set and in opposite directions. And then one that's in black, which is used for the main tank droid. We have an extra lever. We have one of these Technic pins. We have a pulley piece, or can be used as one. We have one of these beige gears. That's very nice to get. We have an additional pistol, in case Jango Fett runs out. We have a T-junction piece. And mentioned before, we have these add-ons. Now these add-ons are something that can be used with minifigures that have little dots on the side of their helmets, particularly in Star Wars. So what you do, you just simply attach it from one side to the other. And you can create some different accessory looks for your minifigs. They also move up and down if you needed to move them in a certain way. There are 2 different types that are included, and they are often included in different Lego Star Wars sets. So you can put this on either side or both sides. They can be, maybe they'll have it like rabbit ears. I don't know. He doesn't care. He's a clone. But only one of them is used in this set for Jango Fett, the same way that it's used for Boba Fett. Let's take a look at those minifigures now that we're talking about them. Here is the first minifigure in this set, the Geonosian Battle Droid. And I presume it's Geonosian because of the scene that it's based on from the Star Wars Episode 2 movie. Now, this minifigure is not particularly new in any case because the main design of him is similar to ones we've had in the past. But the color is the only attractive thing about this figure. The only reason that it's considered new. Although I think we've seen this color before in different Star Wars sets that feature droids. I also noticed that this one has a 1x2 brick, a plate to be exact, on the back of its body. And installed like such. It's very bendable. He would be very good at limbo. And you can move his arms back and forth. You can see that one of his arms is directed horizontally where the other one is vertical. So that way you can have one arm pointing the gun at a certain enemy. The next minifigure we have in this set is the Clone Trooper. And he's going to be a very disappointed Clone Trooper because, well, he's the only good guy in this set. Everything else is pretty much bad-oriented. So, I'm not really up to date as far as the Clone Trooper variations because there are so many. So I do not know if this one is particularly new for 2013. But according to the box, it's not new as of the set. So I'm presuming that it is similar to ones from 2013 and before. He does have some very nice texture to his helmet and very cool printing all around. He carries with him a battle rifle made out of 2 pieces. One that pretty much extends the barrel of the rifle. And what's under that head? Your typical Clone Trooper face. It does not have any back printing on his head, but it is nice to see all that good detail for his torso and helmet. The last minifigure in this set is Jango Fett. This is the reason why you're going to buy the set, most likely. Although the tank droid is nice, This is a character that lots of people would have wanted from LEGO Star Wars ever since the first Jango Fett. There have only been 2 variations, well, actually 3 if you count the Advent Calendar one, which we've mentioned before. But as far as having the complete torso and outfit for Jango Fett, this one has not been made since the first Episode 2 sets were released approximately between 2002 and 2003. That's a very long time to wait for a new Jango Fett, and the set that he's in is probably, only a fraction of his worth on the online market. He's got really neat printing all the way through. Let's just put his pistols down so we can see it a little better. Nice and shiny, much like the other version of Jango Fett, also like the versions of Boba Fett and other Mandalorian type figures. I don't know the exact history of them though, but very nice on the front of him. It even gets better when we see the back. Unlike the previous Jango Fett, where similar to the previous Boba Fett, the helmet and jetpack were attached as one piece. This one, again, has the jetpack and helmet, but it has it as 2 separate pieces, both of which look really nice. Very good color use for those. And as mentioned before, we have an attachment on top of him, which can be removed if you want to change it with other ones in the set. Let's take a look at that face. You know what? I think that one seems very peculiar, because we've seen that similarly with the Boba Fett minifigure roughly from around the same time, 2012, 2013. That's because Boba Fett is basically a clone of Jango Fett, from what I've been told. So yes, they do have the same look on their faces, no back printing on the faces either. Kind of a disappointing part of it, because I would have liked to see a different face for Jango Fett. But still not a bad face to use. We'll put the helmets back on both of these figures, and now we can do a comparison of both of them to each other. Sorry, I moved the camera. So, pretty nice. You can see the Jango Fett is obviously more flashy, more reflective in his color. What I also noticed about him, he also has a little bit more printing in some areas compared to Boba Fett. There's a look at him from the back. 2 impressive looking figures. Great to have for the LEGO Star Wars collection. So here we have the Corporate Alliance tank droid itself, the main model of the set. Now this one's a very peculiar model because it's only been made about 2 or 3 times in LEGO Star Wars history. I remember the first one is in a bluish color. I don't remember if they had a second, but I know that this one is a little bit more accurate and makes it a little bit of a better appearance in terms of villain-type vehicles. It just seems a little bit more realistic with all the gray and some of the machinery that are shown on this model. So we have a lot of interesting things about this I wanted to point out. I guess the first one I would start with is some of the detail they show on the back. Although this doesn't actually move, I like how all these pieces are locked into place just to have the illusion of some kind of machinery going on. They also have that on the other side. It's a very interesting build for how they did that. You can check that out in the instructions. I'd also like to point out how these small pieces on the sides are actually intended to move up and down. At first I thought that was just a lazy way of trying to attach them on the sides or something simple, but it's actually a little bit more than that. I think the idea that they're going for is that you can run it over certain surfaces. Let's see if I can get one on frame to demonstrate. So we have this small round surface, and the main intent would be to move the front legs over it. I'd probably have better surfaces than that, but you get the idea. This is intended to move up and down. not just, you know, doesn't just happen like that. So we have a couple features on this model. First one, we have these flick-fire missiles right next to the simulated missiles. They actually give you 2 on each side and a small place to put them. So these are easy to use. Provides good room for kids to play with it. And the second feature that we have with the set is the large tread. This is probably one of the things I like the best about the Corporate Alliance tank droid. Although it is kind of hard to tell, you can actually see part of the inside through this model. You can actually see it through. It's kind of hollow on the inside. If you wanted to have a minifigure try to like disarm it and, you know, like dig his way through the vehicle to do that, I guess you could try it. But basically, the middle is very hollow and has a couple red and yellow and blue pieces you can see sticking out inside of there. You can see one of the blue pieces on the side. And I think that kind of takes away from the, you know, the realism of the model, because it's just intended for easier building. Usually that's a common thing for Lego, but other than that, still looks good. I like the way that the treads are set up. These are flat treads, so any surface will be able to work with these treads, and they provide a really fluid and really really cool looking motion when you run it across. Let's try it this way. I kind of like that it has a rattling noise in it because it gives it a little bit more fun, you know, for imaginative play, as if you can hear the motors turning inside of the vehicle. And as far as the mechanics behind it, there are gears on this side as well as on the top and the bottom, on the front and back, that allow the treads to run through. So they're doing the main work of the model's movement. The wheels kind of do that as well if you try to move the wheels on their own. But overall, I think this is a really good looking set. I think the model actually holds up well, and even though it wasn't at first my favorite thing about it, it was still a cool thing to build and has some neat features and design to it. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time with more LEGO set reviews.